Hello, and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this one is quite a doozy. So I'm just going to get started right off the bat. So I personally went to go see Slow Joy, but the headliner was Phoneboy, who I had never heard of before I bought the ticket, but I listened to and really enjoyed. So, geez, listen to me. I wasn't even like screaming or singing at all. Anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, this is a 4-band bill, and so we really should, like I said, get into it. So the first opener was Pony. So their first song was an instrumentally heavy start. Lyrics came in shortly after. It was definitely easier to understand the lyrics when the instruments dropped in the verse, and then I actually really did enjoy the instrumentals. So basically this whole set is going to be a whole bunch of couldn't understand the lyrics. Now, I was not barricade. I was maybe too close to the barricade. Maybe that was my fault. But I was maybe like 4 rows back and really had a hard time understanding the lyrics unless there were little to no instruments playing. The second song had an instrumentally heavy start, still full for the verse, and it was, again, hard to understand, but I did like the build back into the chorus after the bridge. And so after that song, the lead singer, she had her guitar for the first 2 songs, then after that she took the guitar off and then never put it back on again, which was also like super interesting because she was so much more animated when she didn't have the guitar. Obviously you can do a lot with your hands and stuff, but it did feel very different, not in like a bad or good way, just in a way. Like she was great when she was on the guitar, and then she was great when she was not on the guitar. Anyway, so again, she had no guitar. The next song had a less instrumentally heavy feel for part of the verse, and I really liked the opening instrumentals, and then there was a shift from the verse to the chorus, so I really liked that as well. After that, they stopped to say hello, and she like sang, she was like, "What's up?" So I don't know why that really like caught me. I just like that. It just seemed like a genuine moment. She introduced the other bands and was like, "Are you guys excited for that?" And so she introduced Slow Joy and was like, "I don't know, you guys don't seem that excited. Let's try again." And so she had introduced Heart Attack Man, and she's like, "Maybe we can do better." And then when she finally introduced Phoneboy, she was like, "Okay, you guys are ready." So that was fun. Then after that, she played a new song off of their new album, Short Quick Feel, and the instrumentals. I still had a hard time hearing the lyrics, but I liked that, like during the chorus, there were certain words where she would kind of end the word or just sing the whole word on a higher note or octave. And so I really liked that part of the chorus, even though I couldn't hear the words necessarily. I could hear the change or a shift in her vocals, and so I really liked that. After that, the next song had an instrumentally heavy start with a slower feel compared to the last song. It was instrumentally heavy for the verse, and the pickup, sorry, let me just change lanes here. All right, so again, still hard to understand the lyrics, especially, even though it was less instrumentally heavy for the verse, it was still hard to understand the lyrics. Picking up the pieces was the only lyric I could hear. So yeah, so again, just like so disappointing that I couldn't understand the lyrics, and maybe I just need to back up, but I also like to be close to the stage, kind of, and I wasn't even that close. Maybe I was, I don't know. So then for the next song, there was a recorded like singing to open it. There was a short quick feel in the instrumentals, and in the lyrics, less instrumentally heavy bridge, could finally understand the lyrics, and then they came back in full for the chorus. After that, she said this is a song about their cat. I really enjoy the intro. Again, couldn't hear any of the lyrics. And then they went right into their next song. I liked the instrumentals. There was a quick short feel, and then a temporary drop in the instrumentals for the pre-chorus. And okay, so then I couldn't really tell if it was the bridge or the chorus, but again, I could finally hear the lyrics. And then I liked the way that some of the words went a little bit higher. And then the last song was an instrumentally dropped when the lyrics came in, and then I liked when the instruments came in full for the second verse. Really fun instrumentals between the first chorus and the second verse. I really liked that. So overall, it was a good set. Again, could not understand a single word. Maybe I need to back up, but was disappointed that I couldn't really understand. So then Slow Joy came on, and again, that was really the band that I went for. They came out to recorded with talking and some music. The first song had an instrumentally heavy start. They had the crowd clap for the first verse. Loved the instrumental drop. And then when they came back in full for the chorus. Okay, so then it is one of those things where I don't know if it was a new song or not. It seemed like it could have been a break because the crowd was cheering and then they went into it. But they got the crowd to jump around and then clap again for the verse. The lead singer was jumping around the stage. Okay, and then there was also a really dramatic shift between the verse and the chorus and instrumentals. And then the lead singer held the mic stand upside down while singing the second verse. So literally the mic stand upside down in the air. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool effect. So then after that they played Gruesome. So super excited about that. He came to the barricade to sing the chorus. Was really excited to see this song. So then he held the mic to the bassist's mouth, and the bassist saying there's those two words. So fun song to see. Super excited to see it. Had a feeling they weren't going to play it last since that's no longer their single right now. We'll get into it. All right, so then they asked who's seen them before, and they talked about getting crabs and how they didn't know how to eat them because they're not from Baltimore, they're from Texas. And then they asked if we could play more songs. They were like, honestly, we don't even know why we asked, because we were going to do it even if you had said no. So that was kind of funny. Then after that, the song had a slower feel to it. So then, the instruments, came in full. Yep, came in full. Sorry, that's my abbreviation. And I was like, what does that mean? That's what it means. Came in full for the chorus. They had the crowd clap for the second verse. Lots of clapping happened. And then they had the crowd jump for the last chorus. I really loved the instrumentals. And then there was a little breakdown at the end, which was pretty cool. The next song also had a slower start. It was less instrumentally heavy, and then the instrumental came in heavier, but then were dropped for the lyrics. Very bass heavy song for the verses. After that, the song they played had a heavy instrumental start with a faster feel, but then it slowed down for a bit for the verse. Then there was an instrumental drop in the pre-chorus, which I really liked. And then they had the crowd clap for the instrumentals. And then there was, it came in full, the instrumentals for the transition to the next verse. I really liked how the lyrics worked with the instrumentals. I'm going to go with the bridge, or right before the bridge maybe. But I really loved the instrumental outro too. So that song had a lot of good instrumentals going on. After that, they talked about having just finished a record. And he was like, I was in New Jersey and I braved the cold weather. So that was, again, kind of fun. So they were playing a new song off that album. It started with less instrumental, heavy start, and lyrics right away for the first two lines. Then it came in with full instrumentals that had a short, quick feel in the lyrics in the first verse. I really liked the lyrics in the chorus, and then the instrumentals, they dropped for a few lines before coming in full again. So I really liked that. Interested to see how the new album goes. So then for the next song, there was like recorded singing with some instrumentals, and instrumentally heavy start, but it had a slower feel even though the instruments were full sounding. It was a bit hard to hear the lyrics, but again, much easier than Pony overall. Really loved the guitar between the chorus and the verse. This was the closest thing to heaven, which I recognized. I love the instrumentals in the chorus, and then right after for the bridge, and then back into the chorus again. Again, great instrumentals. After that, it was just the guitar and singing, and they played Pulling Teeth, which was their last song. Really like the picture it feels and the lyrics, and the instrumentals in the verse. And so towards the end, they asked us to have fun on this last part. And so the crowd went crazy, and it was super fun. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think they played Drowning, which was literally the song I went to go see. Because again, I went there for Slow Joy, and I love Gruesome, but I really love Drowning. And I understand, I don't know, maybe I was too close and couldn't hear it, but I'm pretty sure I would have recognized that song because I love it so much. And so I was a little disappointed. Please let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did not play that song. And it's just so disappointing because I get that Drowning may be I don't know, a slower song, but it's third on your Spotify, most played. So I don't know. I just feel like we maybe should have played that song. So that was a little disappointing for me. After that, Heart Attack Man came on, and this is where I should have just white flagged it and gone to the back, but I didn't. So anyway, I'm a huge fan of I can't think of their name right now. All American Rejects, Swing Swing. That's my favorite song of theirs, and so that was the song that ended as they were coming onto the stage. And so the lead singer just started singing Swing 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 to the beat of Swing Swing, and I loved it. I was like, oh, that's the best way to come on stage. Anyway, so then something on their stage lost power, and they were strumming the guitars and just holding the chord or whatever, and he was like, yep, something just lost power. So then he said once they got it back, and you could hear the difference, you could hear there was no guitar or bass, and then all of a sudden it was oh, there it is. So anyway, so then he announced that they were playing Lay Down and Die. There was instrumentals to open, quick short feel of the lyrics in the verse. The lead singer jumped around stage whenever there was an instrumental part. Really liked the song, good opener, very grabbing. After that, the second song also had an instrumental heavy start, with an instrumental intro. They dropped instrumentals for the verse. Really liked the lyrics in the verses. And I like the pace increase towards the end. At least I think there was. I felt like there was. So if there wasn't, again, let me know. But I'm pretty sure there was at least a little bit. After that, the song was Like a Kennedy. Less instrumental heavy start. Then more full instrumentals for the chorus. And then they dropped again for the verse. Super catchy chorus. So yeah, that was a fun song. After that, they said that they had just put out 2 new songs, so and guess what? We're gonna play both of them. So that was fun. Instrumentally heavy start, short quick feel for the first one that they played, that was newer. Less instrumentally heavy for the verses. I really liked the lyrics and the instrumentals in the pre-chorus. Really liked that. And then there was a really good pace change from the pre-chorus into the chorus. So I liked that song. I definitely will have to listen to it now that it's been released. The second newer song, the guitarist said at the end of the song, okay, so the guitarist was at the end of the song, there is going to be a moment where it's the best headbanging music ever. And so then the lead singer was yeah, maybe we should do some neck stretches, which was funny. The song had an instrumentally heavy start, with instrumentally heavy when the lyrics came in. I liked the lyrics in the first verse, and the lead singer ran in place as he was dancing with his guitar during the bridge. It was fantastic. So yeah, so then they had the crowd clap for the bridge, but it wasn't just a normal every second clap. It was a double clap. So I appreciated that we were varying the clapping. That was great. So I liked that. And then so I really liked the bridge. I liked the instrumentals in the bridge. The guitar was really good, and then the instrumentals dropped for the lyrics at the end. The last 2 words had no instrumentals, so I liked that regression of instruments. So that was really cool. I really liked that song. I have a lot of notes on that song. I really liked it. Then he went pinkies up, not sure why or what that means. So again, if you know, I would love to know. But then they played a song, Laughing Without Smiling. Very like rap feel in the first verse for the lyrics, and then the instrumentals came in full for the chorus. Enjoyed the song, but the pit was super distracting. But they were super energetic on stage, so that was super fun. After that, he told a story about the first show in Baltimore, where they were at Auto Bar, and a guy in a shark costume got kicked out because he was in a shark costume, and then he just took the costume off and came back in. And then they played Old Enough to Die, which had a slower overall feel. But it was actually kind of hard to understand the lyrics for some reason in that particular song. And then the instrumentals came in full by the end of the first verse, and weirdly it was easier to understand when all the instrumentals were there, so that was kind of weird. But then there was that less instrumentally heavy start for the second verse, and then it got fuller halfway through again. And then at the end he's like, there was a point in that song where I just thought, I wish I could moonwalk. So that was funny. Again, like, definitely the lead singer of Heart Attack Man has that like on stage charisma. And even the guitarist who kept like interjecting was great. So it was good. Their stage presence is very good. Anyway, the next song had a short, quick feel in the instrumentals. And I really liked the short, quick feel in the lyrics. Yeah, that was a good song too. Then they encouraged the crowd to crowd surf. So I was not a fan of that because, again, I was like in the middle, in the front, like 4 people back. So it was less instrumentally heavy for the verse, that song, and then it came in more full for the first half. It definitely had like an overall heavier feel, which was a lull in the set for me, and maybe it was because I had to wash my back so much, but yeah, I don't know, it was just for some reason it just kind of took me out. So then they talked about the other bands, and it was always hard for me to hear the name of the song. This lead singer like said every name of every song, and for some reason I would always miss either one word or both words or all words. I don't know what it was about. Again, maybe I was just too close to the stage. But anyway, so definitely missed the name of that song. But the song had a less instrumentally heavy start, but short, quick feel, especially for the guitar in the lyrics. And then the instrumentals came in full later in the verse. It was a super fun song, so I'm glad they followed it up with a fun song after that bit of a lull for me. After that, they thanked security, but they were like, we want to make them work harder, which again, not a huge fan of for me personally, because I was right there. But I did like the opening lyrics in the song, and there was a less instrumentally heavy instrumentals for the verse. And then I really liked the song. It was actually my favorite in the set at that point, which was awesome because it was their second to last song. So it was really good. That was definitely the highlight for me. After that, they played a song that was a great follow-up. I really liked this song too. So like really, really good 1-2 punch for me at the end there. Really liked the verse, especially the second half when the pacing changed a bit. Really great way to end their set. Again, really love those last 2 songs. So that was a really great way for me personally for them to end their set. Just maybe not encourage so much crowd surfing. So finally we get to Phoneboy. Again, I had been listening to them, trying to kind of learn their songs for the show. They came out to like keyboard noises, and then the instrumentals came in full once they were on stage. I really liked the instruments in the chorus and the lyrics in the verses and the chorus. And then there was like a really great building pace in the bridge. So great starter for me, definitely engaging, really liked it. After that, definitely recognized the song, thought it was a great follow-up, really liked the guitar in the chorus. And then, okay, so I called him the guitarist because he didn't sing in the first song. At least I didn't notice. So they're both guitarists and singers, and they sing a lot, both of them, and they play guitar a lot. So it was the guy on the left. Not that that's helpful if you weren't at the show at all. I realize that. But guitarist and singer, I'm just going to call him A, I guess. I'm not really sure. Sang the bridge. And it was hard to hear the lyrics. Okay, So when he started singing the bridge, it was really hard to understand the lyrics, and I think it was because there was a filter on, and so that's why I, like, in my head called him the guitarist, because I was like, all right, I was like, he's not singing a lot, and it's hard to understand what he's singing, so maybe the mic just, like, didn't have, I don't know, whatever. But then afterwards, I realized it was a filter, and that he, like, then sang much clearly when he was not filtered. But yeah, so that part was hard to understand because of the filter. After that, loved the short quick feel in the lyrics, with the less instrumentally heavy start. And then it came in full for the chorus. Fantastic song. Got the crowd clapping for the chorus towards the end. And the chorus, so the guitarist A that I'm talking about, / singer A, he, like, would go onto the drum stage and just, like, jump super high. It was so cool the first time, I was like, oh dang, I was like, that is amazing. So that was really cool. So that happened when the full instrumentals kicked in, like, back in from the chorus, from the bridge, I guess, technically. So that was awesome. So then after that, the next song had an instrumentally heavy start, and the guitarist and singer A sang. And then you could hear him, and I was like, okay, this is much better. Love the short, quick feel of the verses, made the crowd get really low, and then we all jumped up together, so that was fun, because, like, everyone participated, so that was pretty cool. Because at this point I had left the front of the crowd because I just couldn't do it anymore. So that was what happened there. And again, it's interesting. Okay, I could hear them better, but also there were parts that I couldn't really hear. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't just me standing so close. Anyway, super fun, upbeat song. Really liked it. So the next one, he said the song was about a Wendy's bathroom, and it was 1987, which I definitely had heard and knew. I really liked the short, quick feel of the lyrics in the verse and the pre-chorus. And then I really like the simultaneous vocals and the drums for the instrumental bridge, which actually really is just the end of the song. After that, they played Moving Out, which I also definitely had heard. That song has a less instrumentally heavy start. I liked the lyrics. And then the instrumentals came in full halfway through the verse. That just, like, tends to be their thing, right? They have like less instrumental heavy starts, and then they come in full halfway through the verse. So I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but it's true. Anyway, so then there was a pace change in the chorus right, like, after the bridge, and I really liked that. It was, like, subtle, but it was there, and I liked it. So after that, the next song started with the keyboard, and then the instrumentals came in full for the lyrics. I liked the lyrics in the chorus and the instrumentals in the bridge. Then they played Roses, which I really recognized. I really, really, really like the lyrics. I just like the message of that song. Message. Anyway, really like that song. So really excited to see it live. Love the lyrics and the verse and the chorus. Short, quick feel in the bridge, really like. So yeah, I was really excited to see that song, and I'm glad that they saved it towards the end, at least for me. Next song had short, quick feel. Really liked the opening. Instrumentals came in full, and they still had, like, that short, quick feel. Really good follow-up for Roses. The female vocals were for the bridge, and the bridge, like, started out really slow, and she was like, hey guys, like, let's open up that pit, and I was like, please, no more pit opening. But it was so funny because, again, like, the lyrics started so slow for that particular song, or, like, the part of the song, the bridge, but then it, like, got really heavy, so I was like, okay, this is making sense now. After that, they're like, okay guys, we're gonna take a request. So he's like, what am I hearing? He goes, I'm hearing, and then he picked 3 songs that he heard. I don't know if he actually heard them, but anyway, after that, he was like, all right, we're gonna do a cheer off. Whichever song gets the most cheers will play. So they did it, and the song that won was FOMO. He was like, we haven't played this in like 4 years. So if you have like 3 songs that you picked, right, and no crowd had picked FOMO in 4 years, although I guess if you hadn't done that stunt in 4 years, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I believe you now. I didn't believe you at first, but now I do. Anyway, the song itself, they let the crowd sing part of the first lyrics. It was not a very instrumental heavy start at first, and then there was like a short, quick feel with more instruments. I really liked it. I liked the chorus. It was good. I liked that song, and I'm glad that we picked it, although I don't know the other two songs by their names, so maybe I missed out on something I liked even more, but that was a good choice. Then they talked about the other bands, and they talked about their first time here in Baltimore, how they like pulled in and there was like a house on fire and no one seemed to be doing anything. And then he also saw a 9-year-old playing with a lead pipe, and he was like, "Whoa, welcome to Baltimore." Anyway, so then it was like awkward because he tried to like, because people went like, "Nah," and he was like, "Oh, is that a Baltimore thing?" And it's not. So he was like, "Okay, moving on." Anyway, so the next song was less instrumentally heavy with short, quick feels in the lyrics and guitar. I really liked the lyrics in the first verse. And then full instrumentals came in for the chorus. Fantastic song. Really liked it. And then like there was like a lighter instrumentally like part towards the end. Really liked that. And then right at the end there was like this extended drum solo outro, which was really cool and impressive. The drummer did a really nice job with that. After that they played a song that I recognized. I really like with the instrumental drops in the chorus. And then there's those short, quick feels in the verse, which we all, I all love. I can't help but love a short, quick feel. Anyway, after that, they thanked the crew and the other bands and security. There's an instrumentally heavy start with the lyrics right away. I really liked the chorus and how the lyrics were saying, like the pacing of them was like a little bit different in the chorus, like from the beginning of the chorus to the end. I liked that. Okay, but then like the end was like slow but like really rock out worthy. Like it was just like sounded epic, the instrumentals. And then they started speeding up, which was so fun. And then the guitarist did like another big jump, so that was cool. And then they went off stage for the encore. And man, when I tell you they like went for they literally like walked off stage and then walked back on. I was like, oh, that was quick. So yeah, so then they were like, we were going to play 3 more songs. And I was like, thank you for letting me know. I actually really appreciate that. I love knowing how long the encore is going to be. So yeah, so the first song for the encore, really great song to come back to. Super engaging. The instrumentals for the start were really good. Short, quick feels again, which I love. I loved the lyrics in the pre-chorus. Then there was an instrumental drop before the instruments came in full for the chorus, and then the guitarist jumped off the little drum stage there, so that was really cool. And again, really great like engaging song to start with. After that, the next song had an instrumental heavy start that dropped when the lyrics started. They let the crowd sing a line in the verse. So it was mostly female vocals for like the first, like I would say, I don't know, 2/3 of the song, and then the last verse maybe, or the bridge, the 2 male singers sang. But I like really loved the instrumentals for the bridge, so I was like so happy because I really, really loved the instrumentals for the bridge. So finally, the last song they played, they let the crowd sing the lyrics at the beginning. I recognized the opening instrumentals. Again, they had that nice short, quick feel with less instrumental heavy start. Then it came in full halfway through the verse. Very, very typical here. But I really love the drop of instrumentals, and then they like built it back up. Really good choices for the encore. And then there was like a nice little breakdown at the end, and then they kind of had that epic last few chords, and it was great. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Score. Oh, this is going to be so hard. Pony, unfortunately, could not understand the lyrics. It's so unfortunate. And again, maybe I need to back up, but I genuinely don't think I would have been able to understand them because I couldn't even hear her singing. Whereas when Slow Joy came on and I couldn't understand those lyrics, at least I could hear that he was singing. So yeah, I just wish maybe the sound, I don't know what the solution is. Maybe I should have backed up to see if the sound was better somewhere else. But again, it's I wanted to be up close for Slow Joy because I was really excited to see them. Slow Joy was so good, but so disappointing that they didn't play Drowning. I just wanted to see that song. And again, if I'm wrong, please tell me. But that means that the lyric, like, it was so hard to understand that I couldn't understand. But I don't know. I think I would have known that song, like, whether the lyrics were clear or not. But I did like Pulling Teeth at the end. That was a good pick. And obviously Seeing Gruesome was great. Heart Attack Man, I liked a lot of their songs. There was definitely that one lull, but honestly, just the constant crowd surfing and the mosh pit, like, I got pushed right into somebody. That was not fun. And it's like not their fault. I mean, it is when they encourage the crowd to keep doing it, kind of, I guess. But like, overall, I can't really dock points. But again, they did have that one lull, but they had really two great songs. They ended on such great songs, so that was really cool. And then Phoneboy was really good, and they, just have that consistent formula that totally works for me. Less instrumentally heavy start, short, quick feel, right? They come, more full with the instruments in the middle of the verse, and then they go into their catchy chorus. I don't know. I don't know. Not hearing Drowning was really disappointing. That really affected my score. No, not really. Not that bad. I'm going to give this one an 8.0. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Were you there? Did you want to go? Have you gone to another show? Are you going to another show? Because apparently this was only their third show of the tour. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.